This is the final, the absolute end of the Western view on Dim Mak. Last lesson, we're going to carry on. Oh, that's Leigh, I'm Leigh. We teach for the WTBA, that kind of, yeah. You should know that by now.
Because we're not going to repeat that, you need to go back and watch the earlier.
Yeah.
We're not going to say that.
Yeah. Watch the first lessons. Yeah. Okay. What are we doing?
Gallbladder 20.
Gallbladder 20.
Yes.
Gallbladder 20. Beautiful shot. Again, in the back of the head. A little bit tricky to get to. You're basically looking at just where the skull cap dips. Just in there, but not on the front. Either side. There, like that. So there's a little hollow in there. It's a nice little point in there. You can give that a little bit of a massage when you've got a headache and such like this. Basically, the ideal way to strike this particular point is like as if you're striking straight out of his eyes, like this. Okay, so it's not like straight up like this. You want to hit into the point here and come out, or maybe just above his eyes, just kind of thing like that, like out through the top of his head. So it's a 45-degree angle kind of thing, like that. Boom. It fits in nicely because you're aiming just under the skull cap and you're just on the side of the body. Anywhere around there, you're going to cause a huge amount of damage. Because, of course, right in the center, you're getting the governor vessel straight down there, and you're physically damaging the spine. Anywhere down the side of what those big muscles that run down the back of the neck, you're getting the bladder points, lovely knockout points in there. That's your old James Bond rabbit chop on the back of the neck. That chop does actually work. It's a nice knockout. A little bit harder with the accuracy because there's no point kind of thing to hit. With this one, there's a nice crevice. Your hand finds it nicely. Whereas I've always found with the bladder 10 shot, you can hit it, but because it's just one long muscle and you've got to hit it exactly there, you might miss it. Gallbladder 20 is an easier point to hit. Okay, Gallbladder 20, martially, you can't use it from here. You can only use it from bang, whom. You can only use it from, you've got to set him up first and then come in with the strike to Gallbladder 20. So all the techniques we're going to be covering are secondary strikes. Keeping it on the same type of techniques as what we've been covering. Keep in mind you can use the Gallbladder 20 in many different situations. Let's say we've come into here, right? This is where we can use it here as a nice little shot with the
the things they do for you guys.
This is where we use it, okay? So I will give you some training, but with reference to finding the point there, it's quite easy. From a grappling situation, Dim Mak is easy. From a striking situation, Dim Mak is difficult because it's harder to hit the point. But once you're already into something, oh, there's the point, I can feel it. I've got it there, right there. I don't have to worry about it. So I will give you some strikes. You can practice that in your own time. If you do grappling, for example, or you like to train against grapplers, just give yourself a thing. Just go, whoop, get into a grapple, and just find the point. But find it in a sense that you're not just like this. Find it in a sense that you can feel like, okay, I've at least got this distance to generate that force. I know that, I don't know, whatever reason, if Leigh's hand was covering me a bit higher or something, okay, now I'm not going to be able to hit him, you see? This is not going to give me any power, that's just going to piss him off. So, boom, in this case, I'll be coming in here. But where we were before, because I had this hand more free, look, I've got all this room here. So, boom, and I can drop my body weight onto the strike. That's where I'm going to get my gallbladder shots. With reference to the technique, of course, you can use that either as a gallbladder. You could use the heel palm there, that'll work nicely on the Gallbladder 20. You could also use two other very nice strikes. The cupped hand, right on the back of the head, GV20, I think. Anyway, the point that's on the furthest point of the skull cap, in there like that, just like that, a cupped hand. But it's got to be like that, not just whacking through. You percuss by sending a shockwave through that point. You can put that same strike, the cupped hand, right on the base of the neck. Right on, you're going to take out everything with that percussive shot. Taking out all the points in the spine, the governor vessel points, taking out all the bladder points down the back, and you're probably still going to get the gallbladder points as well. But again, that's with a cupped hand, not just that, because you only get 1 point. This, we're cupping the hand. So I'll show you those strikes on the mitts. with reference to the dim mac of it, the importance here is really how to hit it, not so much finding the point and training your body to find the point. Because in this, boom, it's very easy to find the point because you're already there, you see. So that's where we can use those.
So it's lower as a graph.
If he's coming around here, boom, that's obviously, that's end game, putting an elbow at the top there. Okay. What was I saying? Oh yeah. Okay. So, but apart from that, unless you're in an already closed situation, you need to get there. You could also be in a, we practice it from our chi sao, when we're practicing chi sao, this kind of thing. We can get a whoop, this kind of a thing, you see. But where, again, I can't just attack straight in, but I might, I'll just do that slowly. I've whipped his arm out, whoop, you see, and come into there. So now the chi sao in that respect is representing a grappling, it's still a grappling situation, but it's grappling before you've contacted. So, you know, when you see a grappler out here, it's not necessarily always a charge on. They might be sort of tapping hands. Well, that's where I might hit him, you see, in that case. So that's where, if you've already got his hands, something's happening here, you've got something to manipulate. You need to manipulate something to get to these points. Because if I just try to punch him in the back, I could go there, but he's probably going to hit me before I get around there. It's too difficult. So that's where I'm going to have to manipulate the arm, boom, and then crack into the back of his hand, come down. You can use all sorts of different weapons in there. But we're going to use it from the striking point of view because that's what the theme of the videos has been focused on. Before we get onto the full realm of the techniques though, Leigh's the nurse, he's the medical professional. He's going to talk about what the point does.
Cool. Okay, in trauma or in Western medicine, as we're addressing in the video, the base of the skull is this area here. Now when we assess any head injury, because this is a vulnerable area, such a vulnerable area, when we assess any head injury, we look behind the base of the ear here for something called battle sign. That indicates a basal skull fracture. So that shows that even though if he did his head here, I'd still look here just in case he's got a basal skull fracture because of this effect that we were talking about earlier. There's no muscles to stop the head going in certain directions. And if you get a compression at the front of the head, you get a crack and a break right there where gallbladder 20 is. Then it bleeds in behind the ear. This indicates a basal skull fracture. So it's part of normal, any head injury assessment is to look at this part of the skull because it's so vulnerable, has it broken. So, striking into gallbladder 20, if you take a big shot up underneath the skull, primarily what you're doing is, it's one of the easiest ways to get access to the brain stem on the base of the brain and to send a shockwave into the brain. The shockwave goes in and it tears blood vessels and it tears the membranes protecting the brain or the meninges and the such like, so it can cause a lot of localized damage to the back of the brain, which is the brain stem, and the back and the underneath of the brain, which is the brain stem, or the triune brain, or the reptilian brain, and you turn that part of the brain off, damage that part of the brain, death isn't far away. When striking, or when you take a big impact to the base of the skull, there's some things that we look for in Western medicine which are very, very common in this sort of injury. The first one is the head hyperflexes. So hyperflexation of the neck, the pressure comes down here from the atlas, the pressure comes down through the atlas, which is the first vertebra, or C1, which carries the weight of the head, and it comes down and it goes straight into C2, which is known as the axle, because it allows the head to turn, while the atlas holds the head up. So this is the axle, and at the back of it is your undentoid peg, which is a thickened area at the back of the vertebrae, which is quite dense, to carry the head, the weight of the head, and allow it to turn. That's why it's called the axis, or the axle of the neck, of the head. The odontoid peg tends to give in because it's so dense to carry weight down this way. When you get a forward hyperflexation or a reverse a forward hyperextension or reverse hyperflexation, the odontoid peg tends to crack because it's so dense. If it cracks really badly, this is the hangman's fracture. It's almost instant death. When they used to, as a side issue, when they used to train hangmen in Britain, I know in Britain, because it's the only evidence I could get to research, is they used to teach them to tie a big tight knot. You could hang somebody with a very small knot. This won't strike gallbladder 20, it won't get the forward extension, the hyperextension, so you won't get the hangman's fracture, so the person chokes to death. So a good hangman ties a big knot, because it hits there, gallbladder 20, as he drops, bang, you get the hyperextension, and bang, a hit up in your gallbladder 20, which further focuses the power down into C2, severing the C-spine, game over from there. What also happens in the hyperextension is you've got channels here at the front of the vertebrae, called the carotid artery channels, which are quite fragile, and they break. And because the weight has gone down into the carotid arteries that direction, the internal carotid wall breaks down and they tend to bleed heavily up into the brain, obviously causing death. And this can happen a couple of hours, a day or two later, or when the person suddenly stands up because of the change of intracranial pressure, boom, these arteries blow out and they bleed to death, maybe in their own home. I have seen this. But those are basically the causes of death from a gallbladder 20 shot.
Very nice.
You also get nervous shock. You also get a shock effect to the central nervous system and to the brain stem. And because of the angle of the strike, the power's going up through the head this way, so you can also take the head off from the atlas. Which I think the hammer's going to do.
Another little side note, just made me think of that with the shooting power. Basically, from the Chinese philosophy behind it, when you hit that point, you're putting extreme yang energy into the head, effectively. So you're sending this shock wave into the brain, right from the brain stem all through the brain. So, from a health point of view, a healing point of view, it's a fantastic revival point. If someone's collapsed, you just take them, they'll be lying on the floor, of course, but you just take them like that, tilt their head upwards, and literally just push hard. If I did it while he's alive, it would hurt. It should push hard enough to hurt, not just a massage. You should lift to make, like, I don't want to do it too hard, but he would feel like, oh, that's, ow, it hurts. But if he's passed out, it'll wake him up, because it just brings yang energy up through the body. So it's effectively doing the same thing that we do in the martial, only at a much more mild level. And of course, there's no yang energy in the head, so you're bringing it back to normal. But if you're normal, or if you're in a fight, you're probably already a bit more yang because you're in a fight, in which case when you hit it, you overload the brain with yang energy. So that's just the Chinese way of thinking about it, which is exactly the same thing. It's just talking about it, just explaining it differently.
Different words, different level of understanding, different time in history.
Exactly. Yes. Right. Got to stop one of those.
I'm on. Take a bit. Any
I'll take the brass one.
There we are.
Take the brass one.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, first technique. Bah! Like that. Same technique. We've already done this, so I'm not going to cover this in too much detail. The first part of it, at least, because remember, these ones, all of these have set up points before the strike, because they're on the back of the body. So these are more like finish off techniques. Unless you want to walk up behind someone and punch them in the back of the head. Don't do that. I didn't tell you to do that. Okay, so this is the same technique we've done on, I don't know, I think we did it on the stomach 9 one, I think we did it on the mind point one. Have a look back at some of those. It's the same technique. Where we come in there, he's coming through with a straight punch. I'm covering elbow and wrist, and you got it. Coming straight through. We did that bang as a stomach 9 shot. We also did it as a fingers to the eyes before something else came up. I think it was CV22.
Yeah.
Bang, yeah, there was that one, the thumb one. So we've used it there as well, just so if you want to track back and have a look in more detail. Bang, we did it there, and then into the neck. So we're using the same technique. Boom! But this time we're using a heel palm. So we're trying to cause a bit more physical movement to his body. We're still doing it in the Fa Jing manner, so we're not trying to push him and throw him over there. We're still trying to shock the body. But boom, that's going to come straight onto his left eyeball. Okay? You put a heel palm on someone's eye. People always talk about poking people in the eyes. Yeah, that works as well. Scratching their eyes works lovely. But If you poke someone in the eyes, or scratch his eyes, and he closes his eyes, if he sees it coming, you're not going to do that much. You might, if it really goes in, you might do something, but if he closes his eyes, it doesn't do anything to heal pump. You're literally going to compress the eye so much you could even burst the whole eye. But it's just a lovely place, a point of contact, to do similar to what Gallbladder 20 does, in fact, to send a percussive shock into the brain, but through the front of the body. And you do not do this hard, just very, very gently at your own risk. Take your hand like that. Don't hit your eyeball itself, because well, it's your eye, so you can't take any pressure on the eyeball itself. But if you hit yourself here on the cheekbone, you can take a fair bit of pressure, it just annoys you. Hit yourself here on the forehead, that's just a bit annoying. But hit yourself on both, here and here. That's one of the neurological shutdown points. There and there, and it just, it sends this, same what I've just been saying, it sends a shockwave through there. It's a beautiful strike. Lots and lots of detail about those type of strikes, the eye shot, the slap to the jaw, the neurological central nervous system shutdown points on my father's video, MTG 55, knockout and controlling points for law enforcement officers. There's a bit of advertising there for you. Okay, boom! But this time, because we're coming in a slight upward angle into the movement, you're less likely to get that, what I was just saying, the upper and the lower, because I'm coming up. You might still hit the cheek, but better shot is to hit straight onto the eye, like that, up and into the eye. Also, what we're creating there is a backward tilt to his head. Hyperflex tilt to his neck.
On Montaigue.
On doink-doink.
On Montaigue peg, the one I was talking about earlier with the forward flexation.
Yeah.
You're getting exactly the same with the backward flexation. You're getting the similar effect of the hammer's fracture because of this. So you're putting the pressure in there and then boom!
Boom, yes. Yep. You put it one way and then the other. Yeah. Bang and boom! Coming straight around. Now realistically, you put this anywhere in the back of the head. We're covering Gallbladder 20 specifically in this class. However, this technique will work either way. That's what I'm aiming at, to train my dim mat, to train my accuracy, dexterity and all of that. I'm still trying to aim at the Gallbladder 20. Where I've hit it there, across his body, watch what I'm setting up for now. Boom. Because of the length of my arm, again, if I were much shorter, I might position somewhere in the back or even on this side of the neck. But because I'm in this situation, I know that I'm attacking by a shorter person. Because of the strike to this corner of his head, it's going to push his head to that diagonal. So the best, if I attack this point, you see, it's already going that way. So yeah, it's still a great point to hit. But this is going the opposite, you see. So I'm hitting this corner and then I'm hitting the opposite corner, back in reverse direction from one another. What Leigh just said before, just a little analogy of that, it's stalk spread its wings from Tai Chi, from your Tai Chi form. Most Tai Chi forms have stalk spread wings posture, but most people don't know what the application is of the movement. So in our form anyway, it's probably a bit different in other people's forms. We come through for shoulder here, then the next move from here is like this. Like that. So there's your left hand, bang, see? Bang. In the form it's a shoulder, but it's basically the same kind of thing. You could have used it like that. We're just using it a slightly different variation. Bang, but there's that part, and then there's the stalk spread wings. What we're hitting with in this case is this here, like that. It's turned over this way. You could use the cupped hand, although with the cupped hand I'd more recommend going for the whole base, the nape of the neck. Or the top of the head, has that got a name? The tip?
Yes, but I can't remember what it is.
hit him on the tip.
This bit.
Yeah, this bit here. Cupped hand there. If you hit yourself there again, just very, very gently, like that, it makes you feel like your eyes are going to pop out of your head because of that shock wave. But again, if you hit your hand like that, it doesn't do it because it's not sending a shock. It's localizing the pressure. Cup your hand. And that makes it, boom, it literally feels like your eyes are going to. So imagine that times 10, that's what your effect's going to be. Okay, so bang. What I'm hitting with, you see that? It's this portion of the hand here. Your thumb just naturally folds down, and you're hitting with this lumpy bony area here like that. form. As I say, anywhere around there you're going to do some damage, but we're aiming at the gallbladder 20. So it's that sort of a strike like this. We use that to great advantage in other techniques as well, such as bang, boom, coming up through here. Start flying from your Tai Chi form, if there's any Tai Chi people looking. Same portion of the hand. There's your stomach 9 shot, you see. Lovely little whipping shot. It's not such a slamming through sort of a shot, but it's from wherever you've come from, bang, and boom, it's a snap, you see. Click, like that. If I go through like this, I'm going to hit his arm. But if I allow it to whip, what? Just like the back fist that we did, that was last lesson, wasn't it? Yeah, last lesson we did the back fist. It whipped. But that's not the best contact point. This will hit stomach 9 better. So same action of the wrist, but like that. Lovely little move. That's why when you do start flying in your Tai Chi form, it's not like that. Watch the wrist. See, there's that little shake on the end of the movement. You see? That's representing, boom, that nice little slap straight around stomach 9. Little side note there. So, no need to go over that, we've covered that before. Position your feet according. I can't tell you where to put your feet because every time he attacks it's going to be different. So you just need to know, obviously you've taken a V step, you might find from there you can hit it, but I can feel right now that's not perfect, I want to be here. You just need to think, learn the strike, learn what it feels like to do that strike, and then think, alright, now I just need an extra little shuffle. So I can't tell you where to put your feet. You need to learn where to put your feet for your body size, for the attacker's body size, and so on. So, boom, boom. That's what we're looking at. Crack it straight on that opposite side, gallbladder 20. Bang! And again it whips. Wah! Back the other way. I mean, that's the technique, that's all I'm going to teach you. Bang, what? But of course, you boom, boom, you can go wherever you want from there. He's probably dead from the first two, but as I say, any of these can follow on. What was the next one? It was a swing, wasn't it? It was a hook. It was a hook? Yeah. What's it called? I remember. Boom, boom, ba-ba! Okay, that one. That was the one we're going to use. Okay, so second technique. He's throwing a hook. In this case, we're not evading the hook like we have before. I think we may have used this technique actually already. I can't remember, so I'll just cover it anyway. It's stopping it dead before it even gets to you. Two different ways of dealing with hooks. If you're throwing the hook, get away from it. So you're attacking the arm still, but you're out of the way. You're out of the way of it, bang, throw your secondary. Second way, you throw that, stop it. Stop it before it's got any momentum. His elbow's still behind your shoulder. When someone goes, hit it there. Before it has any swing. You wait till it's here, and there's a lot more power in the arm. Again, in a street fight, chances are you're not going to stop it quite so quickly because I know now Leigh's going to throw that exact punch so I can get it exactly, with pinpoint accuracy and reflex. In a real fight, you don't know where it's coming from, but still the principle will work. Barge onto it, jump on his arm when he throws that strike. So he throws that first punch, boom! You see? Reach out to it. We're coming in, again, setups first. Straight in CV22, which we've covered, with your one knuckle, like that. Boom! Straight in there. I've stepped out, I've V-stepped. No need to cover that punch, because we've covered that all, I think we've covered that already. Well, we've punched, I don't know if we've covered that exact punch, but we've definitely covered similar punches. The body mechanics are the same as what we've done before. This is coming through, one movement. Boom. Boom. You see, it's not that. Don't load it. Watch the body mechanics. He comes in, boom! It's one movement. As my hand hits this, you see, it's not actually together because remember the punch doesn't contact until the waist pulls back. So any strike will always be da-da. It'll never be exactly at the same time. Basically, the blocking hand would strike as I'm turning into it, but the striking hand would strike there, just on the snapback. So there's always a slight delay between this and that. Which actually, again, has a better effect on the DMAC. That's another story as well with the setup points, because when you strike a setup point, you weaken the body. It's milliseconds, but if you hit it exactly at the same time, this hasn't yet had time to have the effect on this. If it's very, very close together, by the time you get to the next point, whichever it may be, it's had time to weaken the area and then you hit it. But it's got to be, as I say, da-da, don't sort of go, boom! Okay, now! And then hit him. It's got to be very, very quick. So that's that first one, smack in there. You got to just fold. This is just a brutal, simple method. There's probably no need to even follow up after this, but just in case, boom! Just come straight in with the elbow. We've definitely covered this elbow before on the CV22 lesson, but I'm just using this as a setup to teach you about the techniques to get into the back of the head. So this first part's not the important part because you've already trained this previously. So bang, whoa, come straight in with this thing, elbow into the neck. I'm like the French people. They go knee, elbow. No. when I'm teaching in France or Italy or something, I have translators and they sometimes get the joints confused. It's very amusing. Anyway, bang, bang. Okay, look at where I am now. Look where my right hand is. Remember the triple heater 17 shot? Just checking my head's still in frame. Bang, look at this. Oh, it's just beautiful. It just fits there. Bang, wallop, straight in there. That's going to turn his head. Thank you very much. Bah, heel palm, straight into gallbladder 20. So you've already done all that stuff we talked about in the last lesson, or in the last few lessons, because we've hit him here twice. Boom! And then from there, this movement now, the last time we did this move, we did it as a singular whipping strike. This time we're just going, whoa! Just hammering through because of where we're coming afterwards, and because of where we've come from. With this one, we've come from here, so we needed that whip on the movement. It's also just giving you a variation of strikes. Bang, bang. From here, you're just going to go like that. Just cut through. Don't whip it back. Because that's going to go 1, 2, straight in there. Notice the palm is just hammering straight through the point. Bang. Your heel palm will be the major contact point, like that. There. Okay, so that one again. He throws the hook. You see that? So you just got to be careful with bang with this one because it's following through. You just got to sort of pass your partner's face. You can't physically hit him there. So you just got to put it through and put that strike in there like that. Possibly a good idea would be for this one, bang, that's fine. But as I come through to this last move, as he feels me turn, he just sort of turns with the movement naturally. So then I get the pointing because I can't obviously hit him with that strike to signify him to turn. So he can just sort of go with it, assuming he's been hit by that first strike. Always remember, I keep saying go back to your first lesson. It was in the first lesson that we covered the detail of how all these training methods work. It's not just about learning the techniques. Remember, we were talking about all that stuff with touch the point. So you do your technique, there, then you touch the point. Right? So with the last lesson, triple heater 17, I'm going to feel that little crevice with the pisiform bone. Boom! I've done my punch. Then I'm going to feel in there. Feel what it feels like to push in there, very gently, like that. So each technique you do it, well, obviously you start them off soft, but once you get them up to a rate where you're confident with them, you're doing them quite well, you do the technique, bang, whichever one it is, but bah, touch the point. Boom! Touch the point. To feel what it is, the crevice, the little indentations and so on. So we've covered that in the first lesson. Make sure they apply to all these ones that we're doing now. We're not just treating them as techniques. All that stuff you learned in the first lessons you need to apply to these new lessons. Okay, so that was that. Then, okay, final technique, last one here. He's coming through with a straight punch this time. There like that. And coming in with a stomach 9 shot. Voila! Bang! Into there like that. Okay? Now look at this. Okay, you're already getting brainstem effect by boom, wrenching his neck down. That you can knock someone out with that. I think I've already covered that actually in some of the other lessons. But anyway, you're grabbing the nape of the neck because I've just done the stomach 9 shot. Bang! That's knocked him back. Grab the neck like that, squeeze around it, and wrench it down. It's forward and down, okay? With this one. Sorry, got tangled in your fingers. You took it off. Boom! You're coming straight down with a hammer fist. It doesn't really matter where you hit him with the hammer fist to finish. But for the sake of dexterity training, aim at gallbladder 20, just so you know. Even though in this particular technique, he's done. I'm hitting him with so much force, I can hit him anywhere here and it's going to take him out. However, even in an elaborate move like that, where it doesn't matter where you hit him, if you still aim at the point, that means it's still training you internally for aiming at points. So that when you're in a different situation, you'll still aim at the point. So no matter how much, like when I say elbow, you put an elbow anywhere across the neck, it's going to do a lot of damage. You don't need dim mak to put an elbow across someone's neck, but you're training yourself in those dim mak postures. When my father's teaching the weapons forms, he's teaching the spear, right? You got a 6-inch blade, razor sharp blade, you're sticking through someone's throat, and he's talking about dim mak. The spear's gone through his throat, you don't need dim mak. Or the better one is in the broadsword form. You're pretty much kind of cutting his head off. You're going slice, slice. You're taking off his head. But he still references to the dim mak points. Because if I were using my hands, I need to know where the dim mak points are. So even when we're doing something totally ridiculous like slicing someone's head off, we're still training with reference to the dim mak points so that always, constantly, in everything you do, it's subconsciously programming you into your body. Okay, so that one again, so we've gone there. We've covered this before, so I'm not going to cover this one in any detail. Parry, back like that, 1, 2, and into the neck, like that. Now you'll notice, or you might have noticed, the very first time Leigh threw that punch at me, just a second ago, he threw that punch, and I just did it very quickly, but because Leigh's arm is much shorter than mine is, I don't know exactly what happened, but I parried it here, and I ended up, I don't actually know what I did now, I can't think what happened, but for some reason, whatever happened, because his arm was shorter, I came through with something, I think maybe I just went down too far, and I naturally covered it this way. So from wherever, it was something like that, you see? So different things will happen, of course, when you're caught off guard, you're not going to use a specific technique. But something happened there, and I naturally covered it now. So when you're doing techniques, one of the last lessons I did, Leigh threw the punch at me, and I was like, I was meant to do this and this, but because I wasn't specifically thinking about it at the time, and he threw the punch, and I just went, oh, hang on, no, that wasn't what we were meant to do, but it was still a good technique. Whatever I did was nice. So when you're training with your partner, in any situation, any two-person work you're doing, don't sort of go like, let's say we're training specifically this move. Okay, so I'm training that movement, and then I get caught off guard, and I go, oh, no, I was meant to do that. Don't do that. Do what? Oh. Now I can go, oh, I was meant to do that move, hang on, let's practice that. At least I did something. We have a form in the Tai Chi called the large Sansa. It's a two-person training exercise with a whole bunch of different sequences that you piece together. And I always remember training with my father, if I forgot a move, I had to do something. His punch was coming in regardless of whether I did the right move or not, and he would hit me. So, maybe my move was to do a slant flying or something like that, one of the postures from the Tai Chi form. But his punch would come so fast, I'd freeze for a second, I'd still do the block, but I'd forget what was coming next, so I'd just hit him. Rather than sort of go, oh, what was I, and then he'd hit me, you see? So anytime you forget what was meant to be done, just do something. And that way, at least you're training yourself always to hit, never to not hit. Okay, right, so a little bit more about that one. That one there, stomach 9 shot in there like that. You could equally have come in there, but stomach 9 works well because it knocks the head back and you're already positioned nicely to grab the nape of the neck afterwards. So grab the neck, you're going to wrench it backwards. So what's going to happen there is you're going to kink the neck, and it's going to do that, you see. You're going to kink it back, and then, I don't need to tell you much about that. Just hit him on the head, really. Just boom, straight down. You can hit him in the center, or on the gallbladder 20, or on that gallbladder 20. You can hit him on the neck. You can hit him on the top of the head. You can just tickle his ear because he's probably going to fall down anyway.
Yeah, so it's just going to say 3, 2, 1, right.
Okay, so that's the final technique. As I say, nothing to worry about here. We've done that before. I've already covered that in the stomach 9 lesson and the mind point lesson. Bang, bang, bang. On the mind point, we did it as a punch, but the technique is the same. The key point, I'm not supposed to be saying this because it's a repeat, but the key point here was not evading this way. It's, you see, I'm moving into the punch. Although it's a straight punch, you see, now it's in the position like as if it were a hook punch, even though it were a straight punch. So I'm actually barging into him whilst putting that stomach 9 shot. And then, whoa! And bang. Of course, with that pull down, what Leigh's doing there is he's just going with me. You've got to. Because if he just stands there and resists me, I'm going to kick his neck. I can't do it physically. So when you go to do this pulling action, you have to bend down to signify what would happen. Keep in mind, if he were huge, yes, I might not be able to pull his head down if he's twice my size. But I've just whacked him in stomach 9, so he's not feeling too good. So, and keep in mind, I'm using my body weight there. I'm not just
feeling too good. Sorry.
If he's a big bloke.
He's a big bloke. He's not feeling really good. No, nothing.
If he's got one of these,
yeah, grab it.
Tug him forward on one of these. So, bang. Well, just the final thing about this pull. See, it's not just forward like this. You get much more kink on the brainstem if I'll just don't go with me, but I'll just do it very softly. Okay. See that the direction of the pull there? Now I'll just pull forward. That's still going to work, but see, it just goes this way. It tilts the head like that. Pulling down compresses the head in like this, which is the worst way to have it kinked. So you're going to go, well, let's say a 45-degree angle kind of thing. That's sort of there, and then boom. Or if you know someone who's had fractured ribs before, you can have them straight in the back.
Yeah, that would double hurt me.
Yeah. The old bladder 47 shot. Okay, so that's boom. That's your final shot. Okay. Boom. Okay, getting onto the strikes, the mitt strikes. All right. First strike I'm not going to cover. We've already covered that. The heel palm to the eye. We've done strikes like that before, so I'm not going to cover that. Next move, boom, coming in with the stork spreads wings.
I don't know a name for that strike, actually.
Yeah.
Nobody quite good at remember the names.
Yeah. Yeah, because that's something like a cobra or something. Yeah. That's different.
Yeah.
When you hit them with this bit. Well, Yang probably didn't have names.
Yeah, absolutely.
Probably didn't have a lot of later.
Exactly. Like Supreme Ultimate Boxing was invented when they sold it to Westerners.
Yeah.
Before that, it was Hao Chuan. Loose boxing. Didn't have Hao Chuan. Yeah.
Okay, so we want that up there like that.
If I was Liu Chan, I'd want to learn Supreme Ultimate Fist. At least fight one of the buggers, you know?
Okay, so just stand there. Again, this one has to come from the side. So don't be facing the mitt, of course. You've got to just put your hand on the mitt with this portion touching the mitt, like that. So you feel, yep, that's a good positioning, and then don't move the mitt. So when you hit it, it will be in the right spot, okay? Because again, it's an unnatural. If I turn it that way, I can't hit it that way. I'd have to angle my hand in such a peculiar way that it wouldn't be the strike I'm trying to do. This is where we need those head rounded mitt things. So with this one, just start from there, like as if you've done that heel palm, right? So you're there like that, and you're just going to spiral out and strike like that. Bang. You see? It's a lovely little strike. Drop your weight down into that right leg. Open your waist, close your waist. What we're going to get with this one, it's similar-ish to that last one we did with the one knuckle, the hook around one, except it's a bit bigger of a circle this time because we're going right around the back of his head, you see. So it is a slightly wider circle, but the impact on the end of the movement is still that snap back effect. You could equally use that one, boom, and go through it, but personally I prefer to train the things that work better in a pinch kind of thing. So like you swing through kind of motions, they're much easier to generate. However, having said that, if you only ever practice your sort of far jing strikes, you might try to do a follow through and not be able to do it. So it's good to practice the follow throughs as well, of course, but they do tend to be easier. So, and as I say, most people watching this, if you're already martial artists, you know how to hit, you're probably good at those sort of strikes because those are more classic to a lot of other styles. But this whip back thing tends to be a bit more peculiar usually to Tai Chi and Bagua and the internal styles, though other styles still do use them sometimes. So that's what we want there. Like that. You see? So you can practice it like you do in the technique from here. Whip it round and snap like that. You see that? Dropping into the posture, finishing front on to the movement like that. What? Sink the weight, open the waist, snap the waist back, and the wrist will turn that way. Like that. But then you can also practice it just from here, because that's going to train you when you're here, you see? Boom! Like that. That's what we want for those grappling things we were talking about before. So put your hand just in front of the mitt, assuming that's like, this is his head, you see? You're here, like this. But then you can knock yourself out. So just go like that. So much closer range, like the back fist now. Very, very close range. Bang, bang. Open, close. You see, it's not as powerful, but it's enough to do something, to loosen his grip a bit, gives you some more space, and put something else in. Oh yeah, look, still probably drop him, but you know, if he's friggin' Lenny McLean or something.
Yeah.
Lenny McLean, you just keep it, like he does.
Yeah, just run.
Yeah. Look up and then run.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, so that's just the closer way of striking it. So do it in both ways, from here, swinger sort of way.
Swinger. I don't know what swinger parties you've been to.
But from here, bang, straight in, just whip it, close to the movement, like that, you see? The other hand's naturally just opening out, moving with the body, like that. Okay, that was the first one. What? Bang, next one was punch, elbow, what? We've done all of that. It might be a good idea just to practice the cut strike from there. So assuming you've done your elbow from there like that, bang, just cut that straight in. Because the other one we did, of course, was more of a snapback. So in this case, as I say, this one's not going to be super powerful because it's just turn his jaw type of a strike, but it's in such a sensitive area, it's going to do a lot of damage. So where are we? Bang, you've done your elbow, just turn, literally, just that, you see? That's, when I say it's not that powerful, it's still going to do some damage. Yeah, so, let's see where I end up. Push straight through, and into the next movement. So you can practice them as a unit, like that, okay? Then you can practice the solo one by itself. Just actually we've done that one anyway, haven't we? So I mean that one by itself is just a heel palm, coming straight up. You've done that and just cutting it through like that. We've already done that several times over. Okay, the pulley swingers.
Pulley swingers? Now that's more intended than the swingers I've met.
We'll do the hammer first.
Sorry, mate.
We'll do the hammer strike first, then I'll show you how to pull him. When I first moved to the UK, I said to some of my mates that I'd met, they said to me, hey Eli, do you want to come out on the pull tonight? And I'm like, what, you like get with your mates and do that? And they're like, of course we do. It's like a team effort. You know, you help each other out. You know, it's like, you know, it's much easier to do together than, you know, when you're on your own. I'm like, what? You're going out to pull? And then they explain to me they meant picking up chicks. And I'm thinking they're going to have a pull in the bathroom together. Okay, so there's his head, right? We've kind of already covered this. The only difference was we did it from a lateral point of view in the temple lesson with the hammer fist. The only difference now is it's down, so you'll actually get more power because you're dropping your body weight down onto it as you twist, so you're spiraling yourself down into the ground. Putting your hammer out, bang, like that, straight into it. Get this way. Okay, so just drop your weight down, whoom, straight into the posture, like that, from a close range again. Even in this situation, you may have some distance, but as I say, anyone can get power from there, so there's no point practicing it. Practice it from here, so you're going to get more realistic power for other situations as well. So just like that. Oh, it's just lovely. It's the most simple way to generate force, I've found. Most people, when you teach them these other things, they take a while to get the power coming through. But that is just, most students that I have, even when they're beginners, they can get some force like that. So from there, twist and drop. Twist, drop and compress. Like that. Notice I'm still recoiling. I'm not, even though it's a follow through-ish, I'm not going like bouncing off like that. Boom. I am going through to some degree. However, I'm not going and ending up down here. You see, because I want to be in a, there might be another guy, there might be whatever. So after you've hit it, you back up, you're still standing. You see, even though you're dropping your body weight, you're using your body weight for the strike, but you back up right, ready for the next person to come along.
And you're getting that adverse shock force going in.
Yeah.
As opposed to driving through your boom.
Yeah, exactly. You're still getting that kind of thing happening. So that's the thing. Even when we do deep shots, we still
The swing is coming. Let's consist. I guess that was it.
Now I've forgotten what I was going to say.
Deep shot.
Oh, deep shot. Yeah. When we need to make it deeper to cause an effect, like we did with this one, to the back fist, we may want to go in further, because if I just bounce off, it's not going to have an effect on his body. But if I boom, it's going to come in, I'm going to get a nutter in there as well, you see. However, in this case, it's the same principle. Oh, I won't hit your arm too hard, I'll use this again. So yeah, like what Leigh just said, it's got that depth of a follow through, but still with the recoil shock of something else. So for example, okay, this is full follow through. Okay? This is full bounce off. You see, boom! It's still a powerful shot, but there's no movement kind of thing. So in this case, now as I hammer down through the target, I think we're nearly finished.
Yeah.
You can go and have some fun. I'm going to go to a camping shop while I'm in Swansea. Okay, yeah, what we want is a cross between that. So you're going in a bit deeper, but still bouncing back. Okay? So from there, that's what we want. That's really the impact that we want on that final shot. See? That's assuming it was his arm. Boom! Bang! Coming through here. Okay, final movement. How am I going to do this one? Let me think.
Yeah.
Okay, so Leigh was just saying you can practice the pulling part, the pulling down the neck. So you can practice it on a bag, although this bag is on a pulley thing and it just spins around when you pull on it, so you can't quite get the leverage on it to make it look to make it feel correct. So if you have a bag that possibly doesn't spin as much if it's tied down, anchored or something. You can pull on it to make sure you're getting that jerking effect. Say what you were just saying about the
bottom of the bag. When you hit a bag, if you hit it and you put adverse shock in, the bottom of the bag should come towards you, not push away like in a pushing punch.
Yeah.
But when you do a jerk, a forward, a choi movement from Tai Chi, the bottom of the bag goes away from you as you do it, because your adverse shock is going that way.
Yeah, cool. Okay, so what we're going to do, so we're representing that movement there. We're just going to use his arm. So you still can't do it full power. You'd need to get something else, like as I said, like a bag or something to really put it in. But obviously you can get a better feel here than you can on the neck. So assume that's his neck, like that. But you could even actually do it down here. Let's assume.
I'm a kitty cat.
If you just hold your arm strong, right?
Yeah.
So he's going to hold his arm with a lot of tension in it, right? So that's giving me something to work. So that's kind of like it's on his neck. You see? Then I'm going to go like that and drop it down. You can either do it like that, or you can do it like that. You see? And even that, you can't do too hard because you can just hold your neck strong. Build it up in pressure and. You see that? I'm getting him to pull towards me, and then get that downward force down into the movement, and you come back up. Just to give you some way of practicing that pulling motion. But as I say, any kind of pulling on the body, you're really you're going to kink the neck every time. So ideally, try to get some kind of a bag that you can pull back on. Right, just one last one that I forgot to do was the when you're in that grapple situation. I did do that one at the close range, the thing like this. But assuming you're in here, this one, this is lovely, the cupped hand, boom, right on the back of the neck. And again, I shouldn't really say this, but when you practice with your partners, do it very, very gently. So I'd say to Leigh, okay, is this okay?
Yeah.
That's all right. Is this okay?
Yeah.
Is this okay?
That's about it.
Yeah. So it's like once it starts being uncomfortable, don't go past that point. So you can at least get a feel for, I can definitely feel what that would do. And that was just literally my bicep power. That was only probably 10% of just my bicep power, let alone putting the whole body weight into it. And it's just so uncomfortable. Same thing you can do here. That's okay. That's sort of okay.
Yeah, that's about it.
It's like, Okay, so that's what we're going to do here. Put the bag right next to you this time, like that, and it's going to literally come back towards you, see? So you're not getting any of this kind of power. It's all coming this way, you see? You need to be just to the side of it so it doesn't whack you in the nose, but that's where we want it. Low down, like that, just so it doesn't come past your shoulder, like that. Cup your hand, like that, so you're getting that percussive bubble in the cup of your hand. Neck shots, back of the neck, top of the head, ear shots, eye shots, anything that needs a percussion into the thing. Drums as well. Like that, okay? But this one, don't use any swing. You got to do it from here. Literally, just there. Okay? See? Like that. Imagine that's his neck. You can do it if he's a shorter guy, put it in some different places so you can learn how to get that power in different situations. He might be taller, so he might be up here, in which case put the bag a little bit higher. Just take, 12 inches at the most. So as I said before, if you're in here, you've got this much movement, you see? About 12 inches to load your hand back. He's not going to see it coming because it's behind him. So put your hand out here, that's there like that. You're going to get that nice slap. What? But notice it's coming towards me. He might be shorter, he might be down here. Might be trying to give me a hug. Like that. So get it, get that power. But see, the body movement's the same as all the other strikes we've done. Open the waist, close the waist on the strike. But with that, it's just a different weapon on the end of the movement. Okay, well, we've come to the end of these lessons. I hope you've enjoyed. As I said in the very beginning, these lessons were aimed at simply not teaching the whole system of Dim Mak. That was never my aim or our aim. The aim was to show you that all the stuff we do teach on Dim Mak is proven by medical science, Western medical science. It's not just airy-fairy, mystical mumbo-jumbo from China that when you touch someone and they pass out. It's physiological reasons why people cause knockouts, cause death, and so on. if you want to continue, if you've liked these lessons, you've enjoyed it, you've learnt something from it, my father has put out hundreds of different DVDs covering every aspect, every single point in Dim Mak. He's got several books out on Dim Mak as well. And basically everything that he's put out on video will continue from where we've left off. If you have enjoyed these, as a little promotion, we're going to give you a discount. So just read this, what's spoken here. Have a look. Just give them a moment to read that. Just, yeah, let's put it right here. Okay, so that's the offer we're offering for a discount, just to get you started. Then if you like what you see from my father's videos, you can continue with that and take it from there. So anyway, thank you very much, Leigh, for all your information and help with making these videos. Thank you all for watching. Hope you've enjoyed. We will continue with some more lessons, but that will be the end of the Dim Mak Western View. But we do have some other ideas for some more introductions on different things with the martial art, with the health arts, and so on. So thank you very much. Thank you. Hope you've enjoyed. See you next time. Cool.
Yeah,
Well done.
excellent. Good work. So what are you looking for in a camping shop?